This grand brother says,
Ironic how they come back and they say that Isa went up to heaven alive and will come back alive. Muhammad is dead and rotted in the grave, yet this one went up alive, and when he comes back, he will judge the living and the dead. I just want to know, who is the judge of the living and the dead? Isn't it God? Would God give his job to a prophet? So is God now unemployed? I'm asking, is God unemployed? Who is the judge? They'll say God, but you just told me this prophet is going to judge the living and the dead.
I don't know why this Mose likes lying so much. Like if you're an old person, you're supposed to speak the truth, There's no honor in lying, especially as an old person. So you said that is God becoming unemployed for a prophet to do his work of judgment. See, when you speak about judgment, you should know when is it happening, which kind of judgment are they speaking about. Because all over the Quran, Allah has always told us to judge. There's no concept of don't judge me, don't judge me. Allah has given us authority and given the prophets authority and given different generations authority to judge at different times. But if you are to mean the judgment on the day of judgment, that is the only thing which belongs to God, Allah alone, and nobody else. And there's nowhere in the Quran where they say Jesus will judge the dead and the living, because even first of all, the concept of judging the dead and the living does not exist in Islam. When we are standing before God to be judged, there will be no dead person. Everyone will be alive, because everyone has to first die. The Quran says, Kullu nafsin dha'ikatul maut. Every soul will taste death. So after that death, they will all be resurrected and they stand before their Lord to be judged. It is called Yawmul Qiyamah, the day of resurrection, or literally it means the day of standing. So you cannot tell me you are standing before your Lord when you are dead. So if it's the day of standing, it means you must be alive to stand before God for judgment. So this concept of years of Jesus judging the dead and the living is out. And also in the concept of judging, God has always told very many prophets and people to judge. He told the Israelites through Moses and to tell the rabbis to judge, as he says in the Quran, Inna anzalna Tawrat. Indeed, we have revealed the Tawrat. Fiha huda wa nur. In it there is guidance and light. Yahkum biha. Judge by it. So Allah is telling Moses, the Israelites, the rabbis, and the people during Moses' time to judge by what Allah has given them. He also did the same with Jesus and the people who were there during Jesus' time. The same thing, as he says, وَلْيَحْكُمْ أَهْلَ الْإِنْجِيلِ. Let the people of the gospel judge bima anzalallahu fih, with what Allah has revealed in it. Waman lam yahkum bima anzalallah. Whoever does not judge with what Allah has revealed, faulaika humul fasiqun. Those will be the ones who are defiantly disobedient. We can see the same concept in the Bible where Jesus says he is not the judge. He is nothing. In John 5:30, he says, I can of my own self do nothing. As I hear, I judge. And my judgment is just, because I seek not my own will, but the will of the Father that sent me. So Jesus also made judgment, but his judgment was based on what God told him. As just the Quran is saying, judge by what I have given you. The prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, also said we should judge. Even Allah told him to judge by what he was given, as he says, وَأَنِحْكُمْ بَيْنَكُمْ بِمَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ. Judge between them, meaning the people, and the people should also judge amongst themselves, bima anzalallah, with what Allah has given them. So we can see the concept of judging all over the Quran, but we judge based on what God has given me. So the things of people saying, do not judge me, what doesn't exist. If Allah has said this is wrong, we are right to say it is wrong, and if you do this, it will lead you to this place. You get the point? And the hadith which these people mostly misquote to claim that Jesus is coming back as the judge is this one which speaks about his second coming, where it is reported that Abu Huraira said that by him in whose hands lies my soul, the Prophet was speaking, surely Isa, meaning Jesus, the son of Mary, will shortly descend amongst you and judge mankind justly by the law of the Quran as a just ruler. So, as the prophets did before, as Jesus even did before, by judging with what God has revealed to him, is the same way he will do it in his second coming. The verse of the Quran which is attached to this hadith says, on that day when Jesus comes back, وَإِن مِّنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ, that there will be none among the people of the book, meaning the Jews and the Christians. The Christians don't believe in him as a prophet. The Jews don't believe in him as a Messiah at all. So, the Quran says, إِلَّا لَيُؤْمِنَنَّ بِهِ قَبْلَ مَوْتِهِ, except they will believe in him before his death. So, Jesus is killing the pigs and abolishing all these rules because if people have believed in him, there will be no non-Muslims. And the verse says they will all have to believe in him before his death, because he will have to come, live among us and die. وَيَوْمُ الْقِيَامَةِ, and on the day of judgment, يَقُولُ عَلَيْهِمْ شَهِيدًا, he, Jesus, will be against them or over them a witness. You get the point? Jesus on the day of judgment, what will he be? يَقُولُ عَلَيْهِمْ شَهِيدًا, he will be a witness. He will not be the judge. But the Quran says, Allahu yahkum bainakum yawmul qiyamah, and Allah will judge between everyone on the day of judgment. You get the point? So we see Jesus on the day of judgment is a witness. Allah is the judge. A witness is not the judge. So if you say Jesus is coming to judge, you must know which kind of judgment. His judgment is not on the day of judgment, because there will be one judge. That's Allah, as the Quran says, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, all praise be to him, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, judging with mercy and compassion. Malik Yawmiddin, the king of the day of judgment, the master of the day of judgment. You get the point? Assalamu alaikum.